And that was essentially Nottingham's first two drives. So from those first drives, what have we witnessed? That they had a challenge running the ball. That was evident. They had a challenge running the ball. They come out in a lot of spread formations. They had the odd 11 personnel where they had the wing-back duo. A lot of spread formations. The QB has a excellent ability to play the QB position in terms of read and make plays. Although we didn't see any major deep completed throws, QB's got an excellent arm as well. The offensive coordinator, the play calls in which he made helped to make life easier. The way that the formation was acted helped to make life easier. And I assume that's come from Scout. And those things are going to be very important in the final in which they play in. Especially, I assume that I imagine they're going to do some work to try and get themselves some sort of run game, because it's going to be very challenging to win the game if they don't have a run game. But if they're able to have their offensive pass performance be as good as this, and the receivers and the QB play as well as this, and the coordinator makes calls, then they've got every chance, and it'll be a very good game, which I don't doubt it will be regardless. But that's definitely one of their strengths. Their offensive pass ability, the play calls in which they've made, their QB, and the talent they had there. And I think it matched up very well against the UWE DB call. So this is that was an extra play. So we've seen the first two drives from Nottingham. It's an extra play. So let's watch it through. Nice. Touchdown, nice. And essentially with this play, so this was another touchdown from Nottingham. Essentially with this play, what do we have here? Okay, cool. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of this concept. But essentially what the concept is, this concept is designed to beat cover 2. So essentially what we have here, cool. So we essentially have what one can describe as 12. We essentially have 12 personnel here, although it's with the receivers, so call it what you will. You've got a wing back and a receiver on the line, or doubles type bunch. You've got running back to the backfield, and you've got twins spread out to the left. And the concept in which they essentially end up running here, they run a sort of mesh concept to this side. QB knows that this concept's here. He's not really bothered by it. Or he's decided with pre-snap that's not the concept he wants to look towards. And then on this side, they essentially end up running sort of like a seam or fade, and then they run like a sort of over that's looking to attack. The middle of the field. And essentially what this concept is looking to do, particularly the play side is in the concept in which they run. Particularly what the play side concept is looking to do against a sort of cover 2 look. Because I haven't focused on the coverage in which UWE are trying to run, but I'm pretty sure they don't run cover 2. But essentially against cover 2 sort of look, what we end up having here is that you will have a safety. You have a safety whose job is to deal with this deep half. You have a safety whose job is to deal with this deep half. You have a safety whose job might be to deal with this deep half. And essentially this over route is attacking the middle of the field to the weak part of a cover 2 defense. This is looking to hold, this is not looking to hold safety. You essentially have on this side, the safety can't be right. If the safety ends up covering this route should be open, or you should at least have a nice matchup. If the safety ends up covering this route should be open. And that's essentially what ends up happening. Now the receiver does a nice little job within the route to help create more separation, which I'll explain as we get into it. But essentially, you attack the middle of the field, which is weak, which the cover 2 coverage is weak against. The safety now has to pick one of the two to help out with. Whichever one he doesn't pick to help out with is the one that you throw. Now, with the way in which UWE play, they essentially have their backer look to carry and protect the weakness of the coverage, which is the middle of the field, and to play it over the top. Now, depending on the talent level you have, these are two very talented teams. You would normally take the matchup. Okay, cool. They've got this safety. They've got this linebacker looking to cover the slot receiver running up the over in the middle of the field. If the ball is thrown well enough, you will take the matchup. So the fact that the linebacker's looking to drop, yeah, it's like, okay, cool. On paper, it helps, but if it's a good throw, the receiver runs the route well, you're expecting, depending on how good or excellent the linebacker plays it, 70 to 80% of the time you're expecting to win that matchup, and it's a throw that you would take. In this world, the QB sees a nicer, easier throw, so he takes it. But just by the fact that this linebacker looks to drop and help take this away against excellent offensive play and QB play, that doesn't really mean much unless the linebacker shows that he can, on a regular basis, cover it and cover it well. The QB will likely look to take that if, for the sake of argument, the safety had gone and look to take this away. So cool. So that's the concept we end up getting. And once again, what this shows is that it's an excellent play call, and great chemistry between the QB and the receiver. And the receiver set. We've got the over. Nice. They drop. Nice little throw. And now if you watch, one of the things to watch on this play, which I really like from what the receiver's done, he runs a very beautiful and excellent route. Releases off the line. Sees the corners, played it soft and widening. So essentially he's done his stem. Now the receiver knows that essentially the point he's looking to get to is here. Right? He could just run here. He could just run it straight. Once he gets off the line, he's got a soft look from this guy. He could just run it straight. But what he decides to do to try and help generate some more separation, which I think is really, really, really nice. Really, really nice. Essentially, he stems towards him a little bit, gives him that, and then instantly gets his head inside. As he's stemming, he goes towards the corner. He makes his way towards this corner, which causes this corner to widen a little bit. The QB's watching the safety. The safety, because of the way in which 13 is because of the way they both released, and probably because he's watching the QB's eyes, the safety has decided to prioritize the slot receiver, which is in a catch-22. It doesn't really matter which one he does, to be honest. So he's in a catch-22. It doesn't really matter which one he does. But he decides to prioritize the slot receiver, which is a reasonable decision to make. Perfectly logical. So you get the number 19 here, run as though he's going to run an out and up, but it really isn't an out and up. It's just a step to sort of generate, widen this receiver, widen this corner a little bit, and also just create a larger window. Just create a larger window for him to throw this. Now he's not aware of what the now he's not necessarily aware of what the safety is doing. Now he's not aware of what the safety is doing. Now he's not aware of what the safety is doing. But what he does know is that he can see the corner. The corner's been a little bit soft. He knows that if he runs towards the corner will have to respect him, which the corner does, widens a little bit, and if the QB does choose to throw it to him, by widening the corner, regardless of how this safety plays it, if the QB chooses to throw it to him, by widening the corner, he is making the window of opportunity for this pass as good as possible, or as high quality as possible for the QB should he choose to throw it towards it. Because if he just stems it here, this cornerback may look to compress it down. And if the QB throws it, he'll still probably get a touchdown, probably still score it. But it just brings the corner into the play. While by widening slightly, or looking like he's going to run an out and up, that widens the cornerback. The cornerback's now out of the play. Instantly he gets his head round, creates a nice large window, the QB hits him, it's a lovely touchdown. And that's essentially what we see. That's essentially what we see. That is essentially what we see. Cool, so let's watch that. Yes, that's essentially what we see. UWE, nice little touchdown. And that shows you some of the excellent play calling, the excellent QB play we've had, and the excellent chemistry with the receivers that he's had as well. And in this world, the UWE's defensively doesn't do much wrong. It's just a good concept against the coverage, well thrown by the QB, well played, good route ran by the receiver who ends up catching the ball, and they get a touchdown. And this is what I would look and call they train hard too. This is good football. This is good football. They're in a coverage. They play the coverage relatively well. It's an excellent concept. The way in which the offense runs it is very good. And to be honest, the way it's run, they should score on this, and they do. So that's the Notts offense and defense. So that shows you some of the strengths. So like, Nottingham's offense is going to have to come to play come Tuesday. And if they do come to play, every chance to win the game. Even though the UWE D-line is no joke. UWE D-line is no joke. Their DBs match up relatively well, but they have a mistake in them, as we've seen. And I think their linebacker play, 6 played it, but I thought 6 played it very well in terms of reading the O-line and how he played it. 42 had a decent game as well, but I thought that's where, because Nottingham are going to need, or I feel they're going to need, a run game to help them towards their aspiration of picking up that title tomorrow, picking up the title on Tuesday. What they're going to need is figure out a way of running the ball. And I think the targeting a weakness in the D-line isn't the play. I think looking at probing their linebacker play and their second level layer play to see if you can get some runs, whether that be via some trap or some man concepts, power, things running downhill. I don't think they should look for things that necessarily work sideline to sideline. So I wouldn't necessarily look to bring in outside zone or buck sweep or counter play necessarily, unless it's looking to get downhill fast. Because I feel like the strength in which the D-line play has shown against the run is that if you've given them time to be able to control and play with their blocks, and you're looking to basically create that own movement for your running back to go cut a crease, I think on the basis of how the UWE line has played, in those situations, you're often going to get the case where the UWE line is just going to win. But if you manage to somehow initially pop through, downhill, get past the D-line, you're dodging some flailing arms and some diving tackles, and get onto the second level and start having to basically attack the linebackers, I think that you might gain some success. It wasn't visible here, and I could very much be wrong, but I feel like you need a run game, and trying to make plays on this D-line may be a challenge, particularly if they come to play the way they have done, and they've just been excellent in this game. But that was the Nottingham offense. So now we